I was so personally glad to have come with me my friend Paul Mickelson. Now, I didn't know how Paul was going to relate because Paul's been working for that Billy Graham so many years, whom God has used in so many different ways. And Paul came along and he played the synthesizer, and Paul was loved by the people. I'd see him staggering through the vestibule of the hotel, carrying tulips and buckets. and Paul, when we go back again, we want you to come. Tell the people your impressions of seeing how the Russians responded to the preaching of Jesus.
I made a statement last week to you and then to the congregation that being in Nizhny Novgorod for 1 month was a life-changing experience for me. As you mentioned, I've had the privilege of traveling with Billy Graham and in meetings, but this today and now was a fantastic experience. I don't think I've shared this with you. A number of years ago, when Nikita Khrushchev was the head of the Communist Party and the head of the Soviet Union, I had a dream one night. I had a dream one night that he was converted and that things changed around, and that I saw myself in what was then the Soviet Union, in an evangelistic party, and we were preaching the gospel. That didn't happen those 30 years ago, but thank God, through the changes that have taken place there, it has now happened. And so this was a tremendous life-changing experience for me. We saw so many people in London, England, 200,000 people in one day accepting Christ. And I remember Billy used two scriptures right in line with what you were just talking about the blood and the cross. The life of the flesh is in the blood. In other words, if we don't have the pump here, our heart, that is bringing life into our blood veins, we do not have life. And without the shedding of blood, there is no remission of sin. Those are two scriptures that I recall Billy using. And night after night, as John would preach, I don't know if you noticed this, but I like to stay on the platform, over by the grand piano there, because I wanted to see the faces of the people. And these are the people that we were taught for over 70 years that they were our enemies and we were their enemies. But I didn't find that so. I saw a lovely, lovely face on each person that was there. And as the message of the gospel night after night was preached, I just saw such a change. As you first started in the archaeology, it was a darkened auditorium, so we couldn't see their faces. But as John got into the New Testament and telling about the life of Christ and so on, and the shedding of the blood and the cross, what a thrill it was to see when they got their Bibles that they were turning to every scripture. I remember you even had to show them where the book of Revelation was, or the book of Daniel, because they did not know where even these scriptures were. So, as I say, it was a life-changing experience to me, as traveling with Billy Graham was. And I do hope that one of these days that we can go back, because I certainly have fallen in love with the people that I thought in my heart were our enemies, but I saw such love in their faces. And as you say, they showered us with flowers, and we just have such a love for them in our hearts as we have spent this time working in the ministry. You know, John had to speak through an interpreter, but I speak the universal language of music, so I didn't have to learn Russian. But to hear them sing the gospel, Norm Matiko was leading and singing his Russian songs, and it was a thrill for me, John, to be a part of this and to see the message that John presented. And I guess the final thing I want to say, that in those meetings years ago with Billy Graham, with those thousands of people, we would see many, many people coming forward, and what a thrill it was as I would sit there playing Just As I Am. But the difference here is, for those 70 years, they were told there was no God. And to see not just a small percentage, maybe 20%, 10%, 30%, but I don't know what the percentage was. It looked to me like 98, maybe 100% of them raising their hands, and then when you asked them to come forward, there was no place for them. They kept coming and coming, and that was the final thrill. God bless you. Thank you for being a part of it.
God bless you, Paul. Thank you.